Industrial Construction, a Handbook, and Manpower Planning for Multidiscipline Construction Projects describe how an industrial project, particularly if process plant is involved, differs from the average building or civil engineering project. This video attempts to complement those words with visuals and a few more observations added for good measure. In summary, most industrial-type projects do involve significant, if not substantial building and civil engineering works, but only as a base for what is to follow in terms of steel structures, tanks and vessels, machinery, piping, electricals, control instrumentation, and protective cover. Indeed, to put matters in perspective, as a ballpark indication, it is quite normal for the civils and buildings scope of works, in materials, construction equipment and manpower terms, to be no more than 25% of the total value. Site preparation operations, namely clearing, earth moving, leveling, grading, compaction, etc., will always be fairly conventional, but civil works often involve more complex requirements when time comes to excavate and construct concrete foundations, sometimes in large numbers and a wide variety of sizes and configurations. Invariably, a number of conventional steel-framed buildings are required, but the bulk of steelwork in the scope of an industrial project will usually be large structures containing several levels of machinery operating areas, and the access platforms, ladders etc. required, for multiple very tall vessels, or towers, adding up to hundreds if not thousands of tons. Basically, industrial construction can be described as a numbers game, where, in addition to the steelwork, lengths of pipe and power cables required can be measured in the tens of thousands of meters, pipe fittings and valves etc. equally in their thousands, together with, of course, large numbers of people with a wide variety of skills who must be mobilized to install same, all within very tight timescales. For example, as construction director for a refinery expansion in Malaysia, my site workforce peaked at 7,000. Getting back to timescales, it is important to note that although the nature and complexity of a small industrial project will nearly always be similar to that of a large undertaking, particularly where the product might be the same, timescales from go-ahead to commissioning can vary considerably. For example, a small chemical plant might take 12 to 18 months, whereas a large plant with the same product might take 3 years or more. Obviously, the successful on-time completion of any construction project depends on getting materials and resources on site when they are needed, but particular attention to detail has to be given during the piping, electricals, instrumentation, protective cover and testing phases, during which time, things can go so badly wrong. Industrial Construction, a handbook, includes a series of calculators, called e-tools, designed for use by anyone directly involved with such multifaceted projects, anywhere in the world. A unique URL in the cloud is provided for each numbered e-tool, together with an explanation of its purpose, plus examples illustrated by screen clips, and guidance notes on their usage. E-tools are particularly suitable for preliminary estimates of man-hours, quantities and costs, planning of the works and manpower requirements, monitoring progress and taking such corrective actions as might be necessary. They're also useful for education and training programs, or for use by anyone who might be indirectly involved, but who doesn't have hands-on experience of site work, particularly during the closing months, weeks and days when overruns of schedule and cost often jeopardize a successful outcome.